לא דיברתי באנגלית כי אני לא יודע אנגלית ולא מבין אנגלית, אני יודע אנגלית ABC עד C. הרב יהודה אמר לי שהוא גם ידבר באנגלית, ועכשיו גם ראיתי שהאגדה שבניתי עליה, שהיא כולה באנגלית, אז עד שיהיה לזה תרגום בעברית, אני אאלץ להיפרד ולהגיד לכם תודה רבה רבה על ההקשבה. ונסיים בשתי משפטים. אחד, אנחנו אומרים ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם. כשמישהו רץ לכביש, אומרים זהירות, זה מסוכן, ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם, אבל בעצם הגוף שלו רץ, אז למה אנחנו לא אומרים ונשמרתם מאוד לגופכם? כשאנחנו נדאג, וזה מה שהרב שלמה קץ עושה פה בצורה מאוד מאוד משובחת, ככה שיבח אותה הרב יהודה מישל עם הקהילה היקרה והנפלאה הזאתי, אז אנחנו מחזקים את הנפש, וכשהנפש שמורה ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם, אז גם הגוף ממילא שמור. ורבי נחמן, הוא הראה לי פה את הבן רבי נחמן מנחם מנדל, אז הזכיר לי שכולם מכירים את השיר כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, זה מה ששרים, וכולנו גם יודעים שהעיקר לא להתפחד כלל. אז אנחנו בעזרת השם לא נפחיד את עצמנו מהאויבים שלנו, ואנחנו נחיה בביטחון, באמונה, בהשם, שהקדוש ברוך הוא גם בפסח הזה נהיה בחג חירות אמיתי, בבני חורין, בלב ובנפש, עם כל האתגרים, ונזכה בעזרת השם לגאולה אמיתית, שיהיה המשך מלא במלכה הקדוש ושמח, ונתנצל שאני לא נשאר איתכם.
אני חושב שהחבר'ה זוכרים את זה. אני לא אומר שזכיתי, כי זה לצערי זכיתי, לעשות אירוע ביחד מול המערה, די בהתחלה, אני חושב. וזה היה יום חמישי, לא מוקדים, אבל לא זוכר, באתי לדרוש לפני הציבור, באותה שבת אחרי זה, אמרתי לכולם שהיה שם אבא של חתום, שהוציא כוס מים, ואתה אמרת, ברכת שהכל, וכיוונת על הכל. אתה remember? It was אליהו, it was him. והברכה הזאת של שהכל, שקשתה לנו בצורה הכי נכונה, אני רוצה לברך את כולנו שנזכה להגיד את הברכה הזאת בלב שלם, עם כל הכוונות הראויות לה, ושנזכה באמת לברך על הכל שהכל יהיה טוב.
אליהו הנביא?
אליהו.
רק להתחלה.
אליהו הנביא,
Even if the Gemara wouldn't say that we should begin by saying, posting the Chol Sami, they say something about your host and thank your host, be appreciative. Even without the Gemara telling us we should do that, what a zchut it is to be here. And it's not coincidence, specifically by design, that wanted to be here in Shirat the tail end, so to speak, Chasima of this past couple of weeks. The opportunity the last few weeks to meet the 3,000 Jews, even more, came together, they Geulah, ostensibly to push product. You squeeze mitzvahs, you get the gelt, you squeeze Yiddish gelt to get mitzvahs. But really to push product. A narrative of Geulah, to try to express and experience the goal of this whole Haggadah is, which is to help us stay focused on a pathway to redemption, to Geulah. And there's no more obvious and no more clear place to be than here, among you, among this Geulah, with Shlomo. It's a dream come true for my brother. I had to share this together. And for my parents to be here, literally the fulfillment of prophecy, paying attention. It's not just like a nice thing, a cool thing, family, be here together with Nachi and our family is redemption. It's the story. Be here among friends, with Benjy, with Elie. This is called manifesting. This is called manifestation. I never intended to write a Haggadah, and anybody who knows me knows that wasn't on the bingo card. Purim, Mela, go hard on Purim. Usually don't surface until like Omer or Yerushalayim time. To leave Pesach generally to Orah. She loves high stakes halachic situations. And I just get overwhelmed by it all and like get very into like beer chametz and then make sure there's good wine at the Seder and whatever happens. I never intended to, and it wasn't the plan at all. It wasn't in the cards. But after I was here, I was here and shared together openly a couple of times. Just how untethered and chaotic everything felt, and how unstable the world felt, and how so many things that we assumed and that we were counting on, that we had faith in, crumbled around us, and how there was this new structure that was being built and emerging and being this construction site where everything was in process and being broken. You know, we believe and we want to see and feel how we're in it, like my brother described so beautifully. But sakana kan bonim. There's something happening. In a state of liminality in baderech, so to speak. The Geulah, it's really can feel chaotic and can feel unstable. And at a certain point, just found that it was the language and the depiction, the narrative of the Exodus of Yetzias Mitzrayim that was the only thing that was allowing me to come up for air. In Tefillah and in Torah, feeling very far, feeling very challenged to have something to hold on to that was stabilizing the whole story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Tefillah l'mekor kodesh, zecher l'Yetzias Mitzrayim. Rosh says from Rosh Tzvi, the beginning of all holiness is Yetzias Mitzrayim, because there was such a helplessness and hopelessness in the Yush that was there. There was such a darkness. And Ribono Shel Olam revealed himself with such da'as and clarity that it was until like it connected to Az Yashir, connected to Moshe Rabbeinu, connected to the drowning Paro and the Makos and darkness to life. There was so much uncertainty until Pesach really took its place. There was no Seder in my life for months. But as soon as that clicked, that no wait, there's a Yad Chazaka, there's a Zohar Netuyah. There is redemption from Odin Hirsch. Things started to flow. And the pathway to redemption was revealed. So I want to just say thank you. Thank you to this beautiful Geulah. Thank you to Shlomo. Thank you to everyone who worked to put this together this evening. Thank you, Brendan, for hustling. Everyone for coming out. Man Shtan Halayla has wanted so much this year and want and intend so much to be different this year. Getting together about the Motzei Shabbos for Pesach to open our hearts and lechavein a little bit and to be together and sing together and kind of get our head and heart aligned. I hope that the Benjy will help us bring that down to something practical and real. Integrate. There's already a shinui in my life. It's already something different. The world is different, that's for sure. Pesach, I don't have different, Pesach has the same recipes and sights and smells and stories and traditions and dishes and liturgy, but we're different. And this tonight kind of drives that home for me, Elie, so thank you. I just want to share one thought. When the Kutzker was by the Seder of the Rebbe Rabbunim, Simcha Rabbunim gave him a big cup. We gave him like a really gigantic goblet. A really big goblet. Like bigger than like the Chazon Ish, bigger than Chaim Noah, like the biggest possible goblet you could possibly drink. He filled it with wine. He said, for a groisa cup, for a person with big moach, big groisa moach, someone with like a lot of brain. So darf a groisa kos, you need to have a lot of wine. In other words, there's something about kos which represents kisui, concealment. There's a reason why we make kiddush on wine, and there's a reason why on Pesach night we drink wine. It's to l'shachrer, it's to loosen up a little bit. We lean, and we kind of get loose, and we enjoy that. It's a freedom type, a little free, and take away the inhibitions. To get out of our own head, kind of to get unstuck, to just kind of grease the wheels a little bit. And this way you can do with grapes, you can do with the kyle, but it's about entering into moichin, the consciousness that's more expanded. It doesn't hold us back. To break out of a conception, a self-limiting way of seeing ourselves and the world and our nation. And that's really what the Arba Kosa are about. Tzeti, Tzalti, Gegalti, Valakachti. 4 languages of redemption that represent the process, the pathway. In 1949, Yaakov Moshe Chalab would ultimately be the Rosh Yeshiva of Merkaz Arab, one of the 3 primary students, disciples of Cook. Yaakov Moshe Chalab gave a sikha. It was around Yom Ha'atzmaut time, the first year. It was in Tafshin Pet. It's in the letters of the Meimarim and the Mechtavim. He speaks like very cryptically, but there's tremendous insight. It says these 4 the Shalomos of Geulah, these 4 languages of redemption, a chart pathway, which we express and we manifest, we kind of represent, we drink the 4 cups of wine on Pesach, represent 4 stages of process that he said are going to take place in the state of Israel. As a Rav in Neriah, Sister Roma, Yosefanaria, as a Rav, they live right next to the Rachman Kaduri. We'll flesh that out a little bit. The Hotzeti became, Hotzeti is very simple, he came, Kibbutz Golios, that stage where it became official, the Balfour Declaration. Right? The opening of the gates, the technical level after the war, the Holocaust, it was a place of the Jews could run to. We were taken out of exile, so to speak. Nitzalti, you can understand that first stage of those days of austerity, those challenging days of Tzimtzum in the early days of the state, until we were saved again from Mitzrayim, Sinai campaign. There was until then there was just like a non-stop flow of Fedayim, jihadis, were instability. I remember speaking with Rebellio, who was here, very awesome. There was no other place that would make sense. Wasn't there a couple of Teaneck class once a Shabbos, which was awesome with your brother. It wouldn't have made sense. You wouldn't understand him, you wouldn't understand them. I mean, we were talking, he said his father, one of the builders of Hebron, said he remembers that until the 6-Day War, there was a constant state of anxiety, of fear living here. There was this constant need to just this always being afraid. Until the 6-Day War. But safety was in 48. Tzalti, the Sinai campaign, created a little bit of a harka'ah. We were saved from within. V'ga'alti, in 1967, we redeemed Sefer Bereshit, Sefer Yeshua, swaths of land and restored great parts of Eretz Yisrael. V'lakachti, Yaakov Moshe Chalat in 1949 said, V'lakachti said it'll be the fourth stage of wars, reclaiming ourselves and our land. V'lakachti is from the Lashon of Tshuva, Choy Machem Dvarim. V'lakachti, so to speak, we're going to take back and reclaim who we are. That could be an allusion to the Yom Kippur War. And we're living in that shadow for so long. Now, there's a big discussion among poskim with these 4 cups, because there's really 5 languages of redemption. 5th language of redemption, Tzedek, Itzalti, Ga'alti, V'lakachti. The 5th is V'heveti, and I'll bring you. I'll bring you back to Eretz Yisrael. Passing of the heroes of Shirat. And there's a big discussion among poskim what deals with this fifth language, because we know that the mitzvah is 4 cups. V'heveti etchem al haaretz, I'll bring you to your land. Nasati ota lachem morasha ani Hashem. I'm going to give it to you as an inheritance, as a heritage. I'm going to bring you to that place. V'yenu ala makom. I'm going to bring you to that place. Now, Rambam says, and Lubavitcher Rebbe would speak about this every single year for Pesach, about this 5th language of Geulah. Rambam says that he suggests that we pour a 5th cup. The Yishlimzol Kol Chamishi should pour a 5th cup. V'lomar alav halal hagata. Should say the great hallel over this 5th cup. Because there, in this cup, Eino chova kamo arba kosas. It's not the same chova. It's not the same obligation as the 4 cups. Now, the 4 cups of wine in the 4 languages of Geulah represent 4 stages that bring us to the goal line. But the Heveti is a forward. There's a forward focus in Geulah. Tzedek, Yitzalti, Ga'alti, Lakachti are all kind of past tense stages that have happened. The Heveti is that I will bring. And the question among prophets and scholars, Shonim, Chronim, Halachists, and all of us, everybody who's ever been on a family trip before, is like, are we there yet? When's it going to be time for this 5th cup? And this is what the Rishonim are struggling with. So we have a 5th cup on the table, and we call it Kosher Elio, and we kind of leave it there. We go like, wait, maybe we shake the table a little bit when we open the door for Elijah, the prophet. Maybe Elio can take a little drink from it. But really, we don't know. When's it going to be? Are we there yet? When's the Heveti going to finally get here? And Elionavi going to walk through the door and bring us back to Eretz Yisrael and get the ball over the goal line and have Mashiach Tzidkeinu. So their post will say that we pour it, but we don't drink it. Menachem el-Kasher was a great Ger Rosh Yeshiva in the early days of the state, maintained that we ought to drink. That we ought to drink the 5th cup. So the days have arrived. We're here. It's happening. And he pushed forward a narrative to actually drink the 5th cup of wine. Now, it never really caught on. It never really caught on because to do something new and different, it's like challenging. Goren got behind it, probably also made people a little bit nervous. But he said, soon it's going to be the majority of Jews are dwelling in Eretz Yisrael. And it's going to be time for us to drink the 5th cup. So I humbly suggest that that this is what the Heveti looks like. If you look around the room, look to your left, look to your right, in front, and behind, look at these hills, look at this Geulah. We're here. The war that we're in, the Rebellion refers to as Mashik HaRuach, It's that next stage. We're past the shadow. We're out of the conceptia v'lakachti. Like we've been living in the shadow of the Yom Kippur War for 50 years. All those mistakes and all that self-limiting, miraculous, small defensive conceptia are shattering. They've shattered. They've unraveled before our eyes. It turned this country into chaos. Destabilized everything and anyone, and everyone who's thinking and paying attention, who's willing to drink from this cup, so to speak. All these grosse moichen, the experts, the Shabbat and the Supreme Court, all these great politicians, losers, one after the other, sending food to our enemies, losers. Kleine cup, smallness. We're waiting for a little bit of das. And we're finding an awakening of that intuition and das, and holy redemptive way of seeing ourselves and seeing our nation. Here, in this tzibur, in this community, and among our chayalim, our soldiers, and from Eliyahu, and from so many who are just speaking natural, simple, Jewish, redeemed language. We've moved past Hotzeti, Vitzalti, Viga'alti, V'lakachti, like we're past it, we're done now. We're in the Heveti. We're here. It's been manifest. Eliyahu Navi, Shlomo says, not knocking on doors. So he's waiting for us to open the door, and we have opened the door, and we're here. And we're ready for Halal Haggadah, because we're manifesting. So this year, I'm drinking the 5th cup. I drank it last year too. Made Marek a little nervous. Not gonna lie. It's a story. In Maftir and Amatz. It's time. It's time when we're here, and I know that it's true, because I'm looking around. And like the Rambam says, this is not a chovel like every other chovel. This is not an obligation like the other 4 cups. The same way that you can say, well, it's not so pashut, you can say, really, it's not so pashut. This is something that's happening. It's Geulah. It's not like the other 4 cups. Like my brother said so beautifully, it takes time. We feel that the needle is moving. But it's moving stronger and quicker and more clearly than ever before. And Ashreinu Matov Chalkeinu, that we are here for it. Hashem Yazor, and that from here we should shine this light of clarity, of das, of Geulah, of big picture, of groise cup, of expanded consciousness. Expanded consciousness should reach the 4 corners of the earth, to all of Am Yisrael, to all the good people of the world. Because prophecy is being restored, Beis HaMikdash is being built. The ingathering of the exiles, and you look around, it's happening. Shirat HaMeitim, it's happening. Look at us, it's happening. Chis HaMeisim is happening. And now we're just waiting to get that ball over the goal line. I want to just say thank you again to everyone for making time, space this evening, coming out to share that a little bit, and allowing me to be able to be a part of that. It's something that we don't take for granted. We believe in Nitzachon Muchlat. It's not. We are Mashiachim. We are Hazuyim. We are people who believe in miracles. We're people who believe in great miracles. In Yad Chazaka and Zohar Natfiyah. We believe in the splitting of the sea. We believe in the Makos. We believe in a God that has plans that we can't even begin to fathom. We believe that even when Hashem tells us it's going to be 400 years, turn it around because of His unconditional love for us. This year, Pesach, to see unbelievable miracles. Not just everyone home from slavery, not just everyone released from slavery, not just Jewish bodies brought home for Kuras Israel, but Chis HaMeisim, Binyan Beis HaMikdash. We want it all, we're ready for it all. Kadosh Baruch Hu should be mazaka us to be able to bring all of our brothers and sisters, all of our friends and our family, to be able to enjoy it together with us. Amen. I'd like to just bring this down to something practical. And this is a night of sharing with people like in a very comfortable way. So I don't know that this could have happened. And maybe listen, we had a beautiful night in Ramat Shemesh a couple of weeks ago, and phenomenal evening in my parents' shul and Modi'in, and here and there and everywhere in Yerushalayim, beautiful places all around Chutzlaretz. But I don't know that this would have been possible. This type of language is not everybody's ready yet, like I always said. Not everybody's ready yet. But I believe that you're ready. And I'm grateful to my dear friend, Dr. Benjy Epstein, for being here together with us. You can check him out on the Kabbalah app to be able to really learn together with him and integrate a Geulah consciousness, that we'll be able to enjoy it together. Thank you.
And I just want to plug in that the Svarim are, is it right there?
Yeah.
The Svarim right here.
Whatever's left.
These are the last boxes.
Whatever's left, please make sure you walk home with free.
It's Geulah to have in every room in your home. Shiloh promotion. And your children told me children's something. Then I guess.
Old pirates, yes, they rabbi, sold I to merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pits. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation. Triumphantly, won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs. Manifest. Rishus the Morning Aser of Shlomo HaKohen HaGadol Me'echav. Blessing you to be knee-deep in blood next week. Amen. Next week. And to the lady Agoda who's out there somewhere, just to be sure that he's directing traffic. That's for Saba Howard, making sure he's directing traffic and making sure the choir all shows up in time. And the Wi-Fi rebellion. I think the last time Shlomo, Judah, and I were in the same room together, we were recording the Harvest meeting with Bobby Drums. So that was something. That's Episcopal Flex. Yeah, that was us. And so yeah, I'll sing back up for you anytime. Pour some out for Val Kilmer. We're all on a journey. We're all Baderech. And we're all navigating, trying to get to that end zone, as Rav Judah spoke about, the destination. And David HaMelech asks, Horeni Hashem Darkecha. He's seeking divine guidance. He's seeking help to traverse the derech. And one of the things that the Mefarshim explained that David HaMelech is asking for is for someone who knows the terrain, for someone to guide him. Because we all know we're not going to be jeeping off in the Judean desert or going on a psychedelic journey without a guide, without somebody who knows the terrain. Ashreinu matov chalkeinu. Ashreinu matov chalkeinu, that we have been blessed to have not only the Svarim of Baderech, but to have a tour guide kazeh. Somebody who knows the terrain, someone who knows the route, somebody who can take each one of us by the hand through a safa that's shaveh l'chol nefesh. And again, I was just thinking, miksa shachol b'fanav. You have to be very mindful of what you say in front of a person, but I'm looking out into this beautiful olam and of the 3,000 people who've reached out and who've connected and gotten together. As Judah always teaches us, the way to get it together is by getting together. And the Shvachal B'fanav is looking out to everyone here, and to be able to sit here and to just to look at the face, to see. So just it's a tremendous bliss and blessing to be here. After Judah writes in the Haggadah, it's not going to be referred to as the Haggadah. It's the Haggadah. So some congregations have, after you sing the piyut of Charbu Darbu, it's there. I also fell out of bed when I saw that. Not that I was reading the Beth Shalom, but on page 294 of the Magnum Opus, Rav Judah, as he referenced, the story of Rav Aryeh Levin, the father of the prisoners, came to see the people who had been in prison, who were locked up after the first day, after the first night, and he asked all the prisoners, how was the Seder? And they said, Rebbe, it was beautiful. We had wine, we had matzahs, we had everything we wanted. We were able to be Mekayim all the mitzvahs. There was just one problem, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. There was just one problem. They wouldn't let us open the door by Shvol Chamasna, which is probably the chapter that everyone should read first. Although there is the first story is the keeper. But we couldn't get open the door. We weren't able to open the door for Eliyahu Navi. And Rav Aryeh Levin said, Eliyahu Navi doesn't go through doors. Eliyahu Navi doesn't go through walls. We all find ourselves at some point in our lives to be locked up, to be in a prison. The limiting beliefs that keep us small without believing in ourselves and believing in our Seder. He says, but Eliyahu Navi doesn't need to go through the doors to get into the Seder. We just need to open our hearts. And so the title of this guided meditation, and I'm just warning everyone, it's an occupational hazard. If you do close your eyes at 11:15 on the Motzei Shabbos, you probably will fall asleep. So you have an enjoyable nap. But for those who don't, is calling on your awakened heart. So just keep that in mind as we begin together. We'll sit for the next 12 minutes or so. So I invite you to close your eyes and settle in. Taking some moments to make yourselves comfortable wherever you are. Sitting in alert posture, but also at ease, relaxed, and able. And I want you to invite yourself to be right here, what is supposed to be here. Sensing this whole meditation as a sacred pause, an opportunity to come home to yourself. So in that spirit, taking a few full deep breaths, just gathering and collecting the attention. Inhaling deeply, filling the lungs, and exhale. Just let the out-breath be slow, releasing, letting go. Once again, a nice deep full in-breath. And on the out-breath, letting go, letting go, letting go. Once again, filling the chest and the lungs, breathing in. And with the out-breath, releasing outwards, letting go. Simply allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm and flow. And notice the quality of the presence that's here. Let your senses be awake. So there's a listening to the sounds around you, listening to the quiet, to the space that's here, and an inward listening. So you begin to listen to the state of your heart as it is right now, listening and feeling into the state of your heart as it is right now. Just notice how you are. And you might sense the last few days, weeks, months, years, all that might be contributing to just this very moment. The way your heart, body, and mind are being experienced right now. So what is the state of your heart right now? What is the state of your heart right now? And perhaps there's a numbness, an agitation. Just allowing whatever you feel to be here. For some there might be some grief, vulnerability, other emotions. Sadness, anxiety, maybe there's excitement. Maybe there's hopefulness, ahava, nekama. Just listening, feeling to the state of your heart. And sense as you do that, you can touch all that's present. So with and in this presence, inviting further whatever deeper levels of openness, anticipation, vulnerability, or fear that might want to be felt or known. So as you open to a sense of what's here in your world right now and all that you and I are living through, just let yourself remember, let yourself picture a being who's the calmest, wisest, most compassionate being that you could possibly imagine that you've ever met. It might be someone you know, a teacher, a healer, some of the people in this room. It might be someone you've never met, but admire, like the Baal Rebbe Zchus Ben Aleinu, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, Rav Kook Zatzal. Or perhaps you might choose to call on directly to bring to mind your future self, your highest self, your neshama, your own awakened heart, in its full manifestation and flowering. Just sense who comes forward. Sense who you naturally call upon. So as you envision this being of wisdom, of great heart, and feeling their presence surrounding you, just notice how you, with your heart in this moment, how you find yourself in the presence of their vast understanding. Their wisdom embraces the ever-changing flow of life seasons, the joys and the sorrows, the liminal spaces in between, where all things are held with grace. And how they have this steady, wise heart in the midst of it all. You just sense what it feels like when this wise being is gazing at you now with this profound tenderness, imagining their eyes and just sensing the tenderness and care coming through them to you. And sense through their caring gaze and open heart that their spirit, their courage, their love can bathe you and fill you. So allow yourself to let in fully that loving presence. And notice what it feels like to experience this spirit, this energy in a cellular way. Let that wisdom, that love, that compassion, that energy pour into you. And feel the effect on your body. How does your body respond? And what is the impact on your mind, your heart, your neshama? Just sense the love and presence of this being filling you completely. So now you're seeing the world through the eyes of wisdom and feeling the world through the heart of compassion. You now sense a sort of dissolving so that you are no longer separate from this being. You are one with this luminous, beautiful awareness. So you can feel and allow the natural flow of emotions, the tears, the fears, the sorrows of our times to move through you in this vast heart space. And in the midst of all of this, notice how you are held within it, how your true self emerges through this vastness. Once again, bring your awareness to the movement of the felt sensations of the breath. Notice your body sitting here breathing, becoming aware of the space around you. And with openness and receptivity, allow yourself to sense that this wise being who you've embodied, whom you felt so deeply, so viscerally, is now going to offer you a message to help guide you in the days ahead. So in this quiet, in this openness, listen and receive. Perhaps it's some words, a phrase, perhaps it's an image, or maybe even a felt sense in your body or soul. Just take some moments to receive this message and let it into your body, let it into your heart, let it into your soul. The next few moments just resting, feeling this heart space, the heart space that's present right here. Make yourself at home in the changing flow of sensations, sounds, the movement of the breath, and just sensing that open, tender awareness so that whatever arises can be met with compassion. And noticing where your attention is, if the mind is drifted, let this be an opportunity to gently relax open. To listen again to the sounds that are right here. And to listen and feel into the state of your heart. Just sense the possibility of relaxing with what's here, with the relaxed and wakeful and compassionate presence. In these final moments, I want to invite you again to reflect, to bring to mind the image, the being that you considered just recently, that being of wisdom, that being of compassion. And then consider this, that you can only imagine a being of loving presence, because that is the nature of who you already are. And that this entire path, the entire derech, is coming to realize and trust that the wisdom, the compassion, and the love is already here. And our path, our derech, is to just wake up to its presence. And as you feel that presence now, tenderness in your heart, the quiet in your mind, and the opening the opening for Eliyahu Hanavi, if you're willing to, just invite these words from the poet Hafiz to become your own. The title of the poem is I Wish I Could Show You. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. לאורך הנחל שנובע בי, מבין העצים עומד הבית שלי. לילה כיום יאיר. לילה כיום יאיר. When you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. Blessings and thank you so much for your attention and presence. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. We all serve at the pleasure of the Chief Rabbi of the world. Chag Kasher B'Sameach.
One last thing. Shukran. Lord, get me high, get me high, get me high. Lord, get me high, get me higher. Lord, get me high, get me high, get me high. Lord, get me high, get me higher. נגמר.